What is up, guys? I am back with another video, and today I got my first look at a 3-axis gimbal stabilizer for your GoPro camera, and well, my mind has been blown. Before we move into the review, I need to get a disclaimer out of the way. This is my first gimbal review, and as such, I will only be able to comment on kind of the experience of using a 3-axis gimbal. I'm not going to be able to compare this to anything, talk about pros and cons of this gimbal, this Rider M versus other gimbals out there, because I've only used this one. So this is the Rider M, and it's a pretty simple gimbal that's neat and differs itself from the competition because it doesn't have a big bulky handle which the battery goes in. The entire thing is compact and can be easily mounted to objects like cars, bikes, anything like that where you want to add this ability to stabilize without having to carry it around on a big handle. Many of the 3-axis gimbals out there are handheld because one of the things where this really shines is in freehand holding and stable video shot handheld. They're amazing for that. But lots of them have handles built in. This does not, and you can easily attach it to a standard handle or GoPro pole with the included GoPro adapter that you just screw into the 1/4 by 20 inch bolt, or mount, which is on the bottom of the Rider M. It's powered by 2 lithium-ion batteries, which are available to buy more of through many electronic stores, but you're not going to find them at a local drugstore. It comes with 4 of them, and it includes a charger to charge them, and it charges by a micro USB, so it's really easy to charge and keep those batteries ready to go, and they do seem to last for a very long time. The battery power of the gimbal can also be used to charge your GoPro camera via this USB port, which is attached into the first motor of the gimbal here and then runs through the gimbal to the batteries, which is cool because then you can just kind of shoot all the time and your GoPro will always be charged. That USB port can also carry the video output of the GoPro through the gimbal to an external display you can connect to the gimbal if you want to get video out to a device from your GoPro camera, which is kind of cool. Not something many people are going to use, but neat that it's there. The gimbal operates from 2 buttons. So one button is the power on off. The second button allows you to turn the gimbal, the modes of the gimbal, cycle through them, and turn the gimbaling part on and off once the gimbal has been powered on and off. So 2 steps there, pretty easy to use. Once you figure out the button code, you push one button to turn it on, push another button to activate the gimbal, and then cycle using that same button to cycle through the modes. And you've got a Wi-Fi app it can connect to if you want to control pan and tilt of the camera, which is kind of cool. But that's a lot of talk about how it works. Let's look at the sample video. So I shot almost all of my sample video as a chase footage. So I put this on a GoPro pole, mounted another pole, GoPro directly onto that pole. You can see some shots of that set up here. And then shot a whole bunch of video walking around, low angle, high angle, chasing some animals, walking behind some people, walking towards people, walking away from them, all kinds of shots. And while GoPro pole mounted footage is stable, this footage shot with the gimbal is absolutely incredible. Remember, the sample video is shot on the same pole. So these are connected to exactly the same pole. So the stability of the two is the same, but this is dampening it itself. And I did really hard to make sure that my pole was stable all the time, as if I would normally do when shooting chase footage with a GoPro camera pole mounted. So as you can see, like, the pole mounted footage is stable, but the gimbal stabilized footage is absolutely unbelievably stable. It's amazing how well these things work. So it's a 3-axis gimbal stabilizer, and it helps us shoot incredibly stable chase footage or freehold GoPro footage with our cameras. There are a couple things I don't like. If you notice here, the lens is off center from the center of the gimbal. That's a big no-no in the world of gimbals, because what it means is if this rotates to try and counteract a tilt movement, I end up with the camera kind of getting wobbly, and I end up with a jello effect in the video. If you're to have the lens centered on the gimbal, that doesn't happen. So I would love to see either the camera mount in flipped, so it sits, so the footage is flipped, and then that lens is centered. That'd be really great to see. They've got a really cool gimbal from these guys who make the Rider M out for the GoPro Session, which looks really compact. If you've got a Session, you should check that out because it looks pretty awesome. But this brings us to the conclusion. I'm sold on these, and I will be using a 3-axis gimbal stabilizer for all of my handheld footage from now on going forward. They are not cheap. For the price of one of these gimbal stabilizers, you could basically buy another camera. So they're not something that everybody needs. And if you only use your GoPro as an action camera, you mount it on yourself and you just go skiing, you don't need one at all. But if you use your GoPro to shoot chase footage of people, if you want to shoot events, you want to walk around with your GoPro camera and be able to document things, if you want to use it as a family camcorder to capture events, getting a 3-axis stabilizer is going to take your productions to another level. Your videos are going to just look better than everybody else's. They are amazing. Whether you get them for a GoPro or a cell phone, you should definitely be looking at 3-axis gimbal stabilizers. My mind was blown. I can't believe I haven't looked at them sooner. I really hope to do more reviews of these in the future because they are awesome. Guys, until next time, thank you very much for watching. You can find the Rider M link down in the video description. You can find me over on Instagram for lots of behind the scenes footage and daily goings on. Kyle Martin Tech over there. But most of all, guys, until next time, thank you very, very much for watching.
I think we're good.